Well, I had to talk to you about all of these drugs, but who knows? Somebody might hear me. Jonas, when God sent Jonas to Nineveh to preach his word, uh, he died at the will of God. He ended up in the belly of a fish for 3 days. But when he came out, God rebuked him. He came out, he preached the gospel. And Nineveh repented of their sin for that moment. Now, now, I want to go to a part I started a while ago and I backed off it. It was about the rich man and Lazarus. It's just like the rich man today and the poor people on the face of the earth. In all of his pride, he have established, created, and established a law called democracy. He created in somewhat on this side of the veil where he would not listen to the cry of the poor people. I can't say this for all of them, but I'm just saying this for majority of some of these rich peoples, which came from the Gentiles of people of the white race. Well, just like that man did my mother in Oiltown, Arkansas, up there on the Walls Plantation, in that where we lived in the Parkland Orchard. He told my mother, if you can't say yes sir, you folks can't say yes sir or no sir to me. You folks got to move. And the house we were staying in that we had on his farm didn't have an outside wall. The planks went straight up and down, and they were nailed to cross boards, which made the house. It was just like a cow barn. But the only difference between our house and the cattle barn had a dirt floor. We had a wooden floor, where a pine floor, where every now and then you came around the house, so you get splinters stuck all in your feet. We endured it, and then your mother got to take the splinters out. Well, this house was worse than the barn because in the barn they had the nails bent down where they couldn't pierce the skin of the animals. But the nails was exposed on the inside because we had to sing a wall, and some kids in some of these houses was getting their eyes put out. This is the way they was treating us in here in America. They know that we depended on them, but they treated us in a kind of way. Sometimes I question when they say they tortured. Why would Saddam Hussein, and what did Saddam Hussein went through before he died? It was a blessing they took his life, because ain't no telling what they did to that man. It was a blessing that some of them were slain in prison, because ain't no telling what they went through in the hands of the CIA. When God called me and I got to looking back over my life and seeing what they did to us as black people, such innocent people without nothing against them, my mind began to wonder what was they done to Saddam Hussein, who they had some against him, where they sit up and said that they had weapons of mass destruction. Why was they torturing him? The Bible said in Job 1 and Job 2 that they wasn't torturing them because of they trying to find information. They were torturing them because of Jesus Christ. Because they hated them because of Jesus Christ. They hated them because of the law of Moses. They was trying to make them defile themselves forever by blaspheming against the God, by taking on a law of democracy, and God forbid them not to take on that law of democracy. So they tortured him, trying to make him curse God. They peoples over here could serve any God they want to under the umbrella of this democracy. They contaminate the minds of the people, the black people, with cocaine and drugs, where they is unfit for the kingdom. They become briars and thorns, where they won't care nothing about. But on this hand, they had to torture that man to force him to take on a democracy, and it said he held on to his integrity, so he didn't take on a democracy. But they came and killed him and overthrew the government and replaced him with another man that took on the law of democracy that defied himself. Why? Because the United States hated God on one place, but he tells you he took the treasures of God and used them, but yet they just kept denying God. It's over there when he spoke to Paul, had Paul to speak to them when he talked about the son of perdition, who was going to emerge in these later days. It's in the Bible prophecy. So once they take on their plan, ambition is to take on the crude oil, and this way they think they can live forever because they think they can defeat God, because they think they can make everybody on this planet deny God. And if everybody on this planet deny God, they know that God is going to kill them, trying to change time, because he have carried this earth so long, he have dominated and ruled this earth for so long, and as of now, he trying to defile the whole world, that God won't get anything, that God will destroy this earth. This is what his ambitions are. God sent me back here to speak to him. I was just a man illiterate of the world, just like so many people was, before God called me and had me to stop and speak to you. But God told me, I go. If you walk, I walk with you. You go, I'll go before you. And he will speak to me, and he tell me to tell you, thus said the Lord. These are not my words, but the words coming from he who sent me to tell you what's at hand. This is where I am today. This is what I bring to you today through the prophet and through the voice of the living God who sent me here to speak to you concerning the matters at hand. These are not my words, and I am going to speak to you concerning this matter. Thus said the Lord. So, America took it and tried to defile the minds of us. At these later days, they took and shipped the jobs out across the city, taking the wheel of the fight from the people, destroying your livelihood, but yet you can't see what he is doing. But you go and blaming Barack Obama, a black man, who just got the bits of the mule, of the ox, and he just standing behind the plow. But he is not really plowing because it's the man that's set before him who created and manufactured this all is the leader of this country. It is called Mystery Babylon, CIA. You don't believe me? Live on just a little while longer and watch every day. Because the appointed time of the arrival of Jesus Christ is standing before you at the brink of the threshold. And he is coming down on this earth with afflictions of destruction. And if you don't turn from your way and repent of your sin before that day that he is set in place before you, that at that certain appointed time, the doors of the heaven and the windows of heaven will be